Soleda is building AI agents you can trust, personalized to your business and your data. While a typical data analysis copilot can overconfidently give you an answer, Dana will work with you to get the correct answer. To see what this means, let's explore this spreadsheet a bit first. The activities table contains data about events that happened in an e-commerce web shop. We can see page URLs within the website, as well as refer URLs, which is where users may have come from. We can also ask questions to Dana, such as what activity types are available in the data to get a better sense of the different types of activities and events that this spreadsheet contains. We'll notice that activity types include impressions, visit site, search, view product, and so on. We can also take a look at the purchases table to see what else is available. Well, it turns out that there are purchase IDs, user IDs, product IDs, as well as the prices and quantities of things that were sold. Of course, you can also just click on the tab as well, this time exploring the inventory table, allowing us to see the suppliers as well as the different types of categories and product names that are available for sale in this store. Great. Suppose I want to know how users from Yahoo are contributing to my bottom line. We can ask, what is the conversion rate for users from Yahoo? This is a fairly complicated query since there isn't an obvious conversion rate column or a channel column like you might see in other demos. Rather than prematurely jumping to some answer, Dana intelligently asks clarification questions to make sure we know what to do. Does a visit refer to a site activity or just visit site activities? And should I consider each purchase as a conversion? Well, let's start answering some of this. A visit refers to the visit site activity type. You can join with the purchases table using the user ID column, just as suggested in the question above. And therefore, we can now also mention that always limit to just Yahoo visits. Great. This is now going to get a little bit more tricky though, because given the user's clarification, we also want to think about things like filtering, a global filter for activities and other conversion counts to be considered. So to clarify, should a conversion be counted only if the purchase also happened during a Yahoo referred visit? Yes, I'll only count if the purchase is connected to a Yahoo referred visit. Great. Now, if things get really tricky, we can also fall back to a formula builder to guide the solution. And so in this case, sorry, I'm still having trouble understanding your request. Let's try a different approach. Can you please select the relevant columns needed to calculate this metric? So now we have this nifty option where we can simply click on the columns themselves to tell Dana what exactly we need to use in order to calculate this metric. In this case, we want to be able to filter by the activity type as well as the refer URL. For conversions, we actually want to see which ones are joined with the purchases table. So we simply click on the purchases table and we say that actually we're going to join based on the user ID. And then we're going to go back to the activities table here and say, yeah, this is actually also connected to the user ID here in the activities table. To make that very clear, we will go further into this dropdown and say that this is a join by relationship. And the refer URL over here is actually supposed to be a filter by relationship. Great. So now there's also other issues with potentially the time range. So Dana is also intelligent enough to know that this also needs some clarification. We can choose today or the current week, last week, so on and so forth. We're just going to go with this default of all time, which means that there is no time restriction. Okay, so now Dana is thinking carefully about all the information provided and being able to come up with an accurate query to answer this question about the conversion rate of users from Yahoo. Amazing. So let's unpack this result a little bit. First, we'll notice that in order to get the visits, we're taking the distinct user IDs from the activities table where it's coming from Yahoo and the activity type is visit site, exactly like we wanted. Furthermore, the purchases is coming from the purchases table, also as we described, and the user IDs are selected only from those in the Yahoo visits, which means that we're able to limit this properly. This gives us total conversions as well as total visits, and then this is all grouped together with a coalesce function to give us the conversion rate for a total of 34.38%. Great, so that's pretty wonderful. But what if your company defines conversion a little bit differently? Well, that's no problem either, since Dana is actively reasoning about this situation rather than following a hard-coded path. To see this in action, we'll go through the same flow again, but this time give different answers to the clarification questions. So let's start again by asking, what is the conversion rate for users from Yahoo? With a little bit of thinking, to calculate the conversion rate, we need to identify visits and conversions from Yahoo. Visits can be identified using the refer URL, and conversions can be identified by matching the user ID from the activities table with the user ID in the purchases table. This is exactly what we did last time. But in order to keep things a little bit tricky, we're going to do something a little bit different this time. We're actually going to define a conversion as the purchase activity type, which is found over here in this column, rather than joining to the purchases table. And then we'll also mention that there is no need to join with the purchases table. Instead, simply limit the conversions to the visits by connecting through the user ID. And so notice that this time we're going with a completely different definition of conversion. And noted behind the scenes, we need to identify both conversions and visits from the activities table. Conversions are defined as purchase in the activity type column. And we need to group by user ID to connect conversions to visits. However, the time frame for this calculation is not specified, so we should clarify with the user. And then Dana asks, over what time period should I calculate the conversion rate? Well, you should calculate the calculate the results for only the month of January. Once again, this is also different from what we did before, which was all time. Now, this is a little bit complicated, so given the user's definition, there might still be some clarification necessary in order to count different visits. So yep, we're going to say instead of all time, we're actually going to scroll over into January, and as well as the to date should go to the end of January. So that's going to be 1/31. Great. Whereas other tools make assumptions when passing the query to an LLM, Dana engages in discussion to understand your situation, making the results highly accurate and reliable. Notice also that we did not have to go through the formula builder this time and instead just jump straight to the time range. Okay, amazing. The results are already here. So just like last time, we're limiting to just Yahoo, but now the activity time is limited to just the month of January, exactly as specified. Also notice that the from is no longer from the purchases table, but this time is the activities table. So we once again then get a conversion rate which is completely accurate of this time 41%. So there you have it, an AI agent that truly reasons about the situation. Dana thinks longer when faced with more complex queries, but can dynamically go faster when there is less ambiguity. If you timed how long the total responses took compared to any other agent provider, you will find a dramatic speed boost as well, made possible by Soleda's unique NLU-powered design. We're just getting started on building dependable AI agents you can trust, so stay tuned for more.